This is my Snake Eye Ogdoadic Evol deck profile for a deck that I've been messing about with for the last couple weeks. We don't really have much of a reason at our locals to play full power Snake Eye every week, so I decided to mess around and try out this Ogdoadic list that I was tinkering with. The main idea behind it is that we use the Snake Eye cards to bait as many hand traps as we can, and or set up an Apollousa before we commit to the Ogdoadic cards. There are various 1 and 2 card combos that I'll show off as a part of this, and I'll talk over about my deck ratios and my decisions behind some of the cards I'm playing. So for the Snake Eye card specifically, we're playing 1 Ash, 1 Oak, 2 Poplar, 1 Flamberge, and 3 Witch. The reason we're only playing 1 Snake Eye Ash is because I want to prioritize the Ogdoadics to the Snake Eye cards, as that's like the whole point of me playing this deck. And my ideal normal summon in the deck is Evolsaur Lios, and we can get to Ash via the Witches anyway. So fairly self-explanatory. We're just doing 1 card combos with these, but there's also various 2 card combos with Witch specifically. Then for the Ogdoadic monsters, we have 3 Nauya. It lets us Foolish Burial any light reptile, and if it is normal or special summoned, we can add any Ogdoadic spell from our deck to our hand. Then the opposite of that, we've got 3 Nunu, which is a light reptile that sends a dark reptile, and it can special summon itself from the graveyard if I have no monsters on my field or if I have an Ogdoadic monster on my field. But if I do so, I'm locked into reptiles and it gets banished when it leaves the field. Zoha is a 1-of that we play to help unbrick our hands somewhat. If we have a staple card like Curse or one of the bigger ones in our hand, we can pitch them for cost to add Zoha from our graveyard to our hand. That's like the main reason I use it. It has a second effect, but it's yet to come up for me. Then we have Curse. This is the main card of the deck, combined with a spell that I'll show later on. When this is specialed, it can target a Ogdoadic in the graveyard, which is typically the Nauya that put it there in the first place, and special the Nauya. The opponent can also special summon a monster from their graveyard with the same effect, but it negates the special summon monster's effect. And Curse can special summon from the graveyard by tributing 1 monster, which will come up. Then next we have Nephilabyss and Ogdoabyss. These are funny cards. I did not like the King or Queen, so I'm not playing them. The idea behind each is Ogdoabyss. This is a boss monster. You're not using its graveyard effect to monster reborn itself. You're most likely using Water Lily when you have enough reptiles in grave to summon it, and then it's a quick effect. Send cards to the grave. Send all monsters on the field to the graveyard that hadn't been special summoned from the graveyard in the first place. And then Nephilabyss is a really strong card. If a card is sent from the hand or deck to graveyard, it can special itself, but then I'm locked into reptiles for 2 turns. And it can monster reborn any card in my grave. So an interaction you can do is with Water Lily, you can send this and monster reborn it to get around that reptile restriction to bring back various link monsters that you use to climb into Princess, for example. Then the best normal summon in the deck, we've got 3 Evolsaur Lios. This is a 1 card combo that gets us to what we're trying to achieve, which is the Cosmic Slicer Zero lock, and also setting up Evolsaur Lars as a 2 face-up card Omni Negate that we can then reload with the graveyard effect of Mega Corellia. So Mega Corellia is how we get into Lios if we don't access Lios. There's 2 Ogdoadic spells that Foolish Burial a reptile, along with Snake Rain. That's how we get this into rotation if we don't have Lios. This is also a level 1 fire, so the Snake Eye monsters can also get access to it. Then we have Archosaur and Misk. These are used for Evolsaur Lios to get the ball rolling, because we go normal Lios effect, add the trap, then Lios effect to send the Misk, banish the Misk summon Archosaur pop Lios, and that gets us access to Nauya, which also sets up a tribute for Curse and a spell trap search off of the Nauya as well. Also, he's a level 1, and there's one of the combos coming up where if we do get nibbed, we can use him to go into Anima, either to steal the Nibiru or climb into a Knightmare Cerberus or one or two other cards that I'll show in a moment. Nightsword Serpent, this is an extender. If we have a way to Foolish Burial a Reptile, we get a free body on board. So that's all the monsters. Just a big pile. For the spells, we only play one Bonfire because I wanted to max out on non-once per turn cards unless they were insane. If we cared more about the Snake Eyes stuff, I'd play more Bonfires, but the room's really tight and I prefer what I have for now. This specifically, if you only see this card, you would go Bonfire for Poplar, effect to special itself, search original Sinful Spoils, and then Poplar would be used for original Sinful Spoils to get Mega Corellia into rotation. We could link this into Anima, put it in the back row first as well to save on board advantage. 3 Wanted, just because it searches Witch, and Witch is crazy. And then 1 for 1, this can get us into any of our Snake Eye monsters, and it can also get us into Mega Corellia if we need to. It can also get us into Archosaur, but I don't see a world where I'd ever want to do that. And then Temple and OSS, these are just the one-ofs. We use one or both depending on which of the Snake Eye cards we got access to, and they're both really strong. And then we have 3 Fossil Dig. These are non-once per turn searchers for Evolsaur Lios. We were considering playing Evo Force, but at a point it became too many searchers, so I decided to cut back. I did the math, we've got like a 91% chance to see a 1-card combo based on all the cards I'm playing. Bearing in mind this is a 60-card deck, you can shave down on some of these cards. That's about like 20 that I'm just playing as various extenders and board breakers. We've got 3 Snake Rain, 1-card combo on its own, also not once per turn. If you open 2 and they Ash Blossom the first one, you can just watch them cry. And we've got 3 Water Lily. This card is neat. It Foolish Burials a reptile, and then on resolution of the Foolish Burial effect, if there's 5 reptiles with unique names, we can then Monster Reborn any of the reptiles. It doesn't have to be the one we send. So an instance I did with a 3-card hand was I already had Nephilabyss in graveyard, and I went Water Lily, said Nightsword Serpent, Reborn Nephilabyss, new chain, Nightsword Serpent, summon itself, Nephilabyss, summon anything in my grave. This is one of the cards I was talking about with how that interacts. And then the only other Ogdoadic card I play is 2 Daybreak. This is how we get to our main combo line, which is once we get Curse and Noya onto the field, Daybreak will be searched off the Noya, and then we tribute Curse for cost to summon 4 Ogdoadic tokens. We can use these to climb up into a Princess by turning 2 of them into like an IP, and then combining the IP plus the Nauya into a Princess to get access to our Mega Corellia, because Daybreak has a second effect, which will target a banished reptile, shuffle it back in the deck, and then Foolish Burial a reptile, and then we can Princess Reborn the Mega Corellia, and then that's how we get into the Evolsaur Lios. Then we have a Foolish Burial. This is just an extender for mainly Nightsword Serpent, but it can also come up for Curse if they Ash Blossom your Nauya for some reason, or it can set up Nephilabyss or trigger Nephilabyss. Can get Zoha if you want a normal summon, by then adding Zoha back to hand. It can Foolish Burial a Snake Eye, like Flamberge, if you want. Don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. 1 Monster Reborn. This used to be Black Mamba, and then I just really didn't like Black Mamba. So I was at 59 cards, and I wanted a 1-of that was really strong, and I felt that Called By I wouldn't see enough of the time for it to be worth it playing as a 1 of in a 60 card pile, as we lose to any hand trap basically if we have weak hands. So I want a Monster Reborn because it's just a lot more powerful than a single call by. Then we have 3 Prosperity. There are 24 1 card starters in the deck, and then Prosperity can help us find those as well. We only draw once in the deck, and that's with an extra deck monster, and we don't have to as part of any of the combo lines. It's just like a free plus, so there's no conflict there. Then we have 3 talents. This is more for when we have Snake Eye cards in hand. We use the talents to hand rip to get full advantage, or full knowledge of what our opponent has in their hand, so we can then play effectively around that. Also, stealing and board breaking going second is also really strong. The draw 2 can be nice, but I don't know, it really depends. And then I'm very fortunate enough to have 2 Triple Tactics Thrust. This card is crazy. Going first, we can only realistically set 1 of 2 cards that we either have access to anyway or aren't live. So it's most likely a go second card for either Talents, Prospe, Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial, or Water Lily, Snake Rain, and Fossil Dig. And the last card we have is OSS and 1-for-1. So like there's a lot of various spell cards that you can get. And they can all do like insane things. Like Snake Rain on its own is just a 1-card combo and can help break boards. And I wouldn't cut it for anything. And then we want imperm dodges, but we also want to maximize their value. So we would like a 1 for many kind of style cards. So we play 3 Forbidden Droplet. Ideally, you activate like a quick play spell or a normal spell, and then you can chain Droplet, sending the spell and maybe another monster on field to gain advantage out of that. Also, it can become an imperm dodge going second. And then speaking of imperm dodges going second, we have 2 enemy controller. These are okay. I wouldn't mind cutting them either to decrease how many cards I'm playing or to just play better cards, but they're fine for now. An issue with this deck is like there's like 4 or 5 bricks, which is why I've went for such a high card count, because with the amount of stars and extenders we have, it reduces like the amount of we see any 1 card, including bricks. And then the last 2 are the traps, Evil Singularity and Planet Pollutant Virus. This one's a super factorial that will get us 2 face-up cards, Omni Negates, and this is a stupid card. If you don't know what it does, good. It tributes an alien for cost, and then on resolution, it's a Raigeki for any monster that doesn't have an alien counter on your opponent's side of the field. And for the next 3 turns, any monster your opponent summons, or sorry, for the next their 3 turns, so 6 turns, any monster they summon gains a counter. That combines with one of the cards in the extra deck that gives that makes every monster they have that has a counter on it change to defense, and neither player can activate that monster's effects while it's on the field. It does not work like a Baguska. It also affects links. So it's a crazy card. For the extra deck, we play 14 staples, I'd say. We've got 1 King of the Feral Imps. We use it for the Nunu 1-card combo to get access to Naya. And also it searches a bunch of the cards in our deck, if need be. We have the Evolsaur Lios, that's for the super factorial trap that I showed. And that's it for Xyz for now. Then for the links, we'll go in order of link rating. So for the link 1, we only have Anima. We have 6 level 1s in the deck. And it's really useful for Poplar and board breaking, so it's worth playing. We have Hiita the Fire Charmer, Reptilian Echidna, Lizard Rose, IP, SP, Phoenix, and M-Frame. I'll talk about M-Frame later. Personally, you could probably cut the Echidna, but going second, it helps you search any card in your deck and just extra deck Reptile locks you. So it's still worth playing. But if you want to play other cards and your extra deck's too tight, it could make the chopping block along with Knightmare Phoenix. I do not want to cut either of these two cards because I'm playing the Zealantis OTK engine, because I'm already playing Princess as well, so I may as well be IP and SP. So SP obviously is expensive. There is one combo where it comes up, but I do provide alternates. This could just as easily be a Knightmare Cerberus, and it does the same thing. It can also be a Donner for one of the combos, but then obviously it's not an IP target, so why would you? So yeah, this can just be a Cerberus instead of the SP. It doesn't achieve everything in the same scenario, but it helps out in Nibiru'd when you want to protect your Lars from battle, assuming your Zerul has been super polyed or dropleted. And then Lizard Rose is a new one. I have a tendency in my combos to play around drawing the one of that instantly loses me the turn. So Daybreak lets me return a banished to my deck and then Foolish Burial one. And it's typically either Nightsword Serpent or Mega Corellia that's getting Foolish Burial. And this banishes a reptile, typically from grave. So ideally you would do this first, then this. But if you do that, then you have a chance to draw either one of these. And I'm not taking that chance. So most of the time I end up banishing Curse as the one of. I played 2 Daybreak, so I can get it back. But post turn 1, Curse isn't doing a lot anyway, because you won't realistically have either a tribute summon target for Curse to summon back, or you won't also have an Ogdoadic for Curse to summon back in the first place. So it's not that big of a deal, but like, yeah, this is the one card that lets us draw. And it also helps us convert Raging Phoenix plus Archosaur into a reptile, because we need 5 link rating of reptiles to make a link 2 and a link 3 at the same time on the board. And then M-Frame and Zerul, these are the 2 that we kind of want to end on as much as we can. Ideally, we have M-Frame in the Extra Monster Zone and Zerul here, but other times it has to be Zerul in the Extra Monster Zone, so we do play into Anima. But if this resolves, then we don't care about Anima anyway. M-Frame does nothing, it's just an alien name that we get access to for the trap to be live. And then Zerul's just disgusting. It's a Biguska on legs. Then we have Princess. This helps us get Mega Corellia if we Foolish Burial it. It also helps us, summon back various Snake Eye cards like Flamberge, and Flamberge is like really strong on its own in smaller game states. And that's it for Link 3s. For Link 4s, we just play Apollousa, Raging Phoenix, and Zealantis. So that was 14 cards in the extra deck. You have 1 slot left. I've been deciding whether or not I want to play Selene, Fuko, Dharc, or Typhon. Fuko is just in case I know I'm against Tenpai. My locals is small enough that I know who will be on Tenpai before round 1 starts. So that's why I'm considering main decking it. Because we can use the Snake Eye cards to just end on a Fuko and then try and break their board turn 3. Typhon is Typhon. There's not much really to be said about there. Selene doesn't come up as much as I thought it would. There are combos that Selene can be used to gain more monsters on board, but realistically you want Daybreak to always tribute for 4 tokens that are reptile tokens, so it's not always to your advantage to be as efficient as possible. Like, we're not always bringing Witch back off of Selene to make a 2-mat apple. Sometimes we just go straight into a 3-mat apple because we need 4 monster zones free. And then Dharc the Dark Charmer is most probably the one that I'm putting into my extra deck as the last slot, unless I can think of something better. Side deck doesn't really exist right now because I'm in the middle of doing decks, but I can talk about the theory of it. So again, Typhon for going second, Fuko for going first. You're playing a 60 card deck. You're less likely to see any of the cards you side in. So to combat that, you either need to play a lot of side deck cards that cover the same thing. For example, if you want a lot of graveyard hate, you'd probably want to play a lot of Bestials and DD Crows and just hard side in as much as you can. I did that against the branded player who tried to, what do you call it? Puppet lock me. For going second, I take out the 2 traps and I put in 1 Snake Eye Diabellstar and 1 Sinful Subversion Snake Eye. Sometimes I want to keep Singularity in, but Planet Pollutant Virus is never getting used. I'm putting this in because it's just a good one of, and also it's searchable. That's the main point that I think my side deck should be, is that I have access to these cards via engine, because otherwise I'm less likely to see it. And then 3D barrier, because Tenpai is just a menace, and I want Tenpai plus Fuko. And if I can get to D-barrier, I won't make the Fuko. And then for other side decking options, it's probably 3 Cosmic, a Duster, and I think maybe 3 Twin Twister as well. I don't want to put in Evenly or Lightning Storms, because the chances, again, of you seeing it turn 1 aren't insanely high. And then if you top deck it like turn 3, or you draw it like midway through your turn, it's dead because you'll have a card on the field. So Evenly and Lightning Storm can't see play. So that's why I'm considering 3 Twin Twister. And then we play 6 tokens. We play 5 Ogdoadics that are all signed by various YouTubers. We play 5. 4 is for Curse. 5 is for like a weird case where I'm tributing either Nephilibus or Ogdoabyss. And then if we get Nibiru'd and our opponent doesn't have a token, we do need to distinguish the difference between their tokens and ours, because it does matter. So I just have a Trickstar token with various friend signatures on it. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and some hands are insane. I did a 3.5 card combo that ended on everything I could ever dream of. But I will list the following combos below and talk through like the ideas behind what I want to try and achieve with them. So this is a 1-card combo for just Lios. So we'll go normal summon Lios, effect to add the trap, then Lios effect to send Misk, banish Misk to summon Archosaur, Archosaur pop Lios to add a level 4 reptile, we'll add Naya, pitch Naya to send a light reptile, we'll send Curse, Curse tribute Archosaur, effect on summon, reborns a Naya, and potentially a monster from your opponent's graveyard, but their effects are negated. Naya to search, we'll get Daybreak, Daybreak tribute Curse for 4 tokens. Then from here, we take 2 of those tokens, make M-Frame, then Naya plus a token for Lizard Rose. We don't want to draw into the Mega Corellia, so we'll do Daybreak first to put back the Naya, to Foolish Burial the Mega Corellia. Now we can Lizard Rose, banish the Curse to draw cards. And then finally we take these 2 and make Slicer, and then Slicer effect to set the trap from deck. So you end on a 5-card hand with both the traps, and you have Lars Live. Where have I put my Lars? There. Lars Live. This on its own, if you get super polyed, you still have Lars. If this gets impermed on summon, you can use impermed during the opponent's draw phase before Lars is out. You can then use Planet Pollutant Virus as a Raigeki instead of the Floodgate that it's going for, and then Evil Singularity as well. This is a 1-card combo for Nunu. So we'll go Nunu effect to send a Dark Reptile, we'll send Zoha. Zoha effect, it's got a card from hand for cost, add it to our hand. The normal summon of Zoha and the special summon of Nunu, it doesn't matter which way we do it. If this isn't turn 1 and you happen to play Typhon, maybe you'll want to do Zoha first in case they have a graveyard banish or negate for the Nunu. So normal Zoha, Nunu effect a special summon. I'm reptile locked, so that's fine. We just make the king. King of the Feral Imps, detach, it doesn't matter which one, we'll detach Nunu. And we will add Naya, then we'll send Naya to send a light reptile, we'll send Curse. Tribute the king for curse effect to bring back Naya effect, we'll search Daybreak effect, tributing curse, we will get 4 tokens. Then from here we need to go into the princess line, so we have to make 3 effect monsters, so we will make IP Masquerena, then IP plus Naya for princess. Now that we have a banished reptile, we'll go Daybreak effect, target Naya, shuffle it back, and then send Mega Corellia. Princess to reborn, we'll bring back Mega Corellia, shock. Mega Corellia effect, we'll discard a card from our hand and we'll tribute a token to summon out Lios. Lios effect, we'll add the trap. Lios effect, we'll send Misk. Then we will turn Lios and Princess into Hiita. It has to be Hiita over Knightmare Phoenix because we need the Link Arrows. From here, we can go Misk Banish to summon out Archosaur, no effect on summon. Then we have to specifically go Archosaur plus the token into Lizard Rose. Lizard Rose, we will banish King of the Feral Imps to draw a card. And then we will turn all of these into a 3-material Apollousa. So we end on 3 cards in hand, and we have the Singularity live for a Lars. Top deck Imperm, you can't stop with the Lars, they'll just chain Imperm to the Singularity if they know what it is. So you're probably better off holding the Singularity until after they pass priority on draw phase. They probably just bait it out from you, and I'm just going to cut the rest of this because it's just a ramble. This is a 1-card combo for Snake Eye Ash to get into your reptiles. It will end on a 3-material IP protected Apollousa plus M-Frame and Zerol and the Lars trap. So the idea is that we're using the Snake Eye stuff to try and bait hand traps, but obviously in this case, we just have to use it to get into our engine. So we go normal summon Ash effect, we add Poplar effect to special. Poplar effect will search on summon and we'll get original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. This is how we'll get into our snakes by going into Mega Corellia later on after we've established the Apollousa. From here, we link off the Poplar into Anima. Poplar effect, target itself to put it in the back row. Here we then go Ash plus Poplar into Snake Eye Oak. Oak effect, target one of them to Monster Reborn, it doesn't really matter which one. Then we will go Oak effect, sending itself plus Anima for cost to special Flambridge from the deck. From here, we want to have a guaranteed send for the original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. So we will go Flambridge effect, target Oak or Poplar, again, it doesn't really matter. And then from here, we then make IP Masquerena, then Flambridge effect to reborn 2 level 1 fires, which we only have 2 of. From here, we then make a 3-material IP protected Apo. Obviously, this is a 1-card combo and it dies to a lot of interactions, but it is what it is. If they had if they had Nibiru'd from this point before summoning this, we still have access to our snake lines. So from here, we go original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, sending Snake Eye Oak to special Mega Corellia from deck. We then use Mega Corellia effect, tributing itself for cost, and then discarding a card from hand to special Lios. Lios effect, we'll add Evil Singularity. We'll then use Lios effect again to Foolish Burial Misk. We'll banish Misk to summon Archosaur from deck. This will then target Lios to destroy it and add a level 4 reptile. We'll add Naya. Then we'll go Naya effect, discarding itself for cost to summon to Foolish Burial and opposite attributes. We'll send Curse. Here we'll go Curse effect, tributing Archosaur for cost. This will Monster Reborn Curse, and then we'll use Curse effect, targeting Naya to Monster Reborn. This will also let your opponent Monster Reborn a monster from their graveyard, but its effects will be negated. On summon of Naya, we will add Daybreak from deck to hand. We'll then use Daybreak, tributing Curse for cost to get 4 tokens. From here, we can go Naya plus a token into Lizard Rose. We can then go Lizard Rose effect, banishing Curse to draw a card. After this point, we just link off Lizard Rose and 1 token into Zerol effect to set the Planet Plume virus from deck, and then the last 2 tokens become the M frame. So we then set the Evo Singularity and pass. We've still got 4 cards in hand off this 1-card combo. We still have Daybreak access for the following turn because we didn't need to Foolish Burial anything here. Curse is banished and so is Naya, but we can just shuffle one of them back. And then we have Mega Corellia and Lios in graveyards for the Singularity, and we also have Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye to get access to Poplar, the second Poplar from deck, which can also get us Temple. Okay, so this is a fairly standard end board of Slicer, Zerol, and M-Frame. We can summon out a 2 face-up card Omni Negate in Evolsaur Lios. And then we have this trap card, which is a Raigeki by tributing M-Frame for cost. Or it's also just a Floodgate that will put counters on every monster your opponent summons for the next 3 turns, and any monster with those counters will be forced to go to defense, and also neither player can activate their effects on field. Zerol works different than Baguska in that they don't have to go to defense for their effects to be negated, so it does negate link monsters. As part of these end boards, we have to play around certain cards. So Imperm, Super Poly, and Droplet. To play around Imperm, we summon Lars before we activate Planet Plume virus, because if they chain Imperm on the Zerol to the Evo Singularity, then this just becomes a Raigeki by just tributing this for cost to blow up monsters on their board. We can't play around Super Poly at all. These 2 will just be sent with turn player priority, but in that case, we still have a 3 material Apollousa and a Lars. If they just have an Imperm and they don't read Slicer Zerol, they'll probably go for the Apollousa. But yeah, so this is just a 1-card Snake Eye Ash combo. I'll go over how Witch works next. This next line is for Diabellstar, the Black Witch. It's a 1-card combo that gets us onto our Reptile end board, and it just ends on Lars, M-Frame, and Zerol. We don't get access to Apollousa. So to start, we go Witch effect, sending a card for the summoning requirement, and then effect on summon to set Original Sinful Spoils. From here, there's 2 options. If you have normal summon Lios, Snake Rain, Naya, or like a way to get to those, you can use this to go into an Apollousa line to protect the board and then commit, which I'll show later on, but this is just if you only have Witch. So from here, we can go Witch, send itself for cost to summon Mega Corellia. Then we can go Mega Corellia, tribute itself, and send a card from our hand to summon Lios. Lios effect, we will add Evo Singularity. We'll then use its effect again to Foolish Burial Misk, banish Misk to summon out Archosaur. Archosaur target Lios to destroy and add a level 4 reptile. We'll add Naya. Then we'll send Naya to send Curse. Curse tribute Archosaur. And then Curse Monster Reborn Naya and potentially a monster's opponent from a monster from my opponent's graveyard if they want. Naya effect to search, we'll get Daybreak. Daybreak, tribute, Curse. This is fairly standard. We get 4 tokens. We'll then use one of the tokens plus the Naya to make a Lizard Rose. Lizard Rose effect, targeting itself, banishing Curse for cost to draw a card. And then we have to play into Anima with this specific line if we want to do the Lizard Rose stuff. We don't have to. So we'll go Zerol effect to set Planet Pollutant Virus from deck. And these two for M-Frame. So we still get to end on the Floodgate plus Lars. And again, we don't have to use Daybreak. If we don't want to use the Lizard Rose draw, you can use the 5 tokens to just go 2 tokens immediately into M-Frame and then 3 tokens into Zerol. So that way you don't play around Anima because the trap will tribute this for cost. So this is a 1-card combo for Snake Rain. Snake Rain on its own has 2 different end boards. You can either end on Apollousa IP with Princess Engrave, or you can end on Cosmic Slicer M-Frame with Princess and Raging Engrave. Both of them get Lars in rotation for the 2 face-up card omni-negates. If you have 1 extra body to either normal summon, or for example if you have Water Lily, then you can kind of merge both of them together. But these are just for the 1-card combos. So we go Snake Rain discard, and we send Mega Corellia, Curse, Nunu, and Naya. Because we control no monsters, we will use Nunu effect to special itself. We use Curse to tribute Nunu to summon Curse, Curse effect to Monster-born Naya, and the opponent can Monster-born one of their monsters, but its effects are negated if they want to summon it. Naya effect to search, we'll add Daybreak, Daybreak tribute Curse, and we will get 4 tokens. From here, this is where we decide, are we going into Apollousa or are we going into M-Frame? So for this case, we'll go into Apollousa. We have to sacrifice a Link 2 here because Princess needs 3 effect monsters. If we want to end on IP, we can't use that. So if you have Dharc the Dark Charmer or M-Frame, which is what I'm going to be going for, that's what we make here. Then we send both of these for Princess. Princess effect to reborn the Mega Corellia. Mega Corellia tribute a token and discard from card from hand to summon the Lios. Lios effect, we will add the trap, and then Lios effect, we will send Misk. From here, we're going to go Link down the way into either Hiita the Fire Chimer or Knightmare Phoenix. It's up to you which one you want to go into. It doesn't really matter for setting up. It doesn't matter at all for setting up the combo. It's more for how you want to play out your turn 3, which one you would rather hold on to. So from here, we can go Misk effect, banish itself to summon out an Archosaur, no effect. Then we go Daybreak to put back the Naya, because Naya is better than Nunu. And we will send Nightsword Serpent. Nightsword Serpent effect to Monster Reborn. There's a different ways you can sequence this. You can hold the Daybreak for after you make the Apollousa to be your last summon to go into IP, but you have the option here to turn 2 of these bodies into Lizard Rose, and it's just a question of whether or not you want to gamble into drawing the Nightsword Serpent. That's why I've sequenced it this way, and it plays a harder into Nib. But we have Evil Singularity set up either way. So from here, if they nib us on the tokens, we have nothing. It is what it is. But you should have more cards in the hand to hopefully play through. So we take these 2 tokens. Oh, no. What have I not done? We go Lizard Rose, banish the Curse to draw a card. Then we go Lizard Rose plus the Link 2 into 2 material Apollousa. And then we take these 2 to make an IAP. So we still have Evil Singularity, which we can then use during the opponent's turn to summon out our Evolsaur Lios. So we have 2 Apollousa negates, we have IP to go into something, we have 2 face-up card negates, and if we want, we can use Princess to pop Lios and 1 monster they control. But obviously, you want to hold Lios for as long as you can. If Lios survives your opponent's turn, you can use Mega Corellia effect to banish itself, to reattach a Lios and a and a reptile to it as material. So this is the second version of Snake Rain, so I'll just quickly go back through it again. It's the same 4 mills. Nunu specials itself, gets tributed by Curse. Summons back Naya searches Snake Rain, tribute Curse for 4 tokens. From here, because we're not ending on IP Masquerena and we're ending on M frame, we make IP Masquerena instead. And then we go into Princess Reborn, Mega Corellia. Then we do Mega Corellia again, tributing a token and discarding a card from hand to summon out Lios. Lios effect to add Evil Singularity, Lios effect to send Misk. Then Lios plus Princess goes into Raging Phoenix. So we go up this time for 1 more interaction. Then from here, we go Misk Banish to summon out Archosaur. And then Archosaur plus Raging Phoenix makes Lizard Rose. From here, again, it's another one of those sequence things where do you want to gamble on whether or not you'll draw into the Knightmare Serpent? Personally, I don't want to gamble that. So I will Daybreak here, putting back the Naya, because it's the best option we have. And then we Flush Barrel Knightmare Serpent, and then use its effect to reborn itself again. Reborn itself, just like last time. Then from here, we go Lizard Rose to banish Curse to draw a card. Then we can take any 2, it doesn't really matter at this point because they're all reptiles. We make Zerol effect to set the trap from deck. And then the last 2 for M frame. So we have 3 cards in hand, we get both the traps, and for graveyard interactions we have Princess and Raging. And obviously we've still got Lios, so you don't want to use Princess immediately, it's more for when either Lios has run its purpose, or these have been negated, or the Lios has been negated. So you've got Princess to pop the Lios, and then Raging target Lios to summon it, and then this becomes 5300 attack for the opponent to then try and deal with. So this is a 2-card combo for Snake Rain and Witch, and as per normal we'll just use the Witch stuff first and see how far we get. So Witch, we'll set OSS sending the Witch to summon Snake Eye Ash. Ash effect will add Poplar effect will grab Temple for Oak, then Ash plus Oak for Flamberge. Then these 2, we need the IP for later, so instead we'll go Hiita the Fire Charmer here. It can also be Knightmare Phoenix. Then we go Flamberge 1, Poplar 2, target Flamberge. Summon these both, and then Oak bring back Poplar. From here, we then take 3 of them and make a 3-material Apollousa. Your opponent might think you're trying to go into Selene. Again, it's still the Nibiru'd choke point, and you've got the Snake Rain. And you get less value of it because you don't have the IP immediately for Flamberge, but you'll still have access to it with the Snake Rain. So then we go Snake Rain, discarding a card to send Zoha, Mega Corellia, Curse, and Naya. Zoha here doesn't have to be Zoha. It's not going to get used, but it's an extender because you're not going to have your normal summon and you're going to have one card in hand for pretty much the rest of this. So then from here we go Curse, Tribute the Oak, Curse effect to Reborn Naya and potentially an opponent's monster to negate their effects. Then Naya effect will search Daybreak, and then we'll just immediately use Daybreak for Curse for 4 tokens. This is why we need the IP still, because we need to turn 2 of them into an IP, and I'm not playing Dharc the Dark Charmer. Then from here, IP plus Naya is Princess, and Princess will get us access to the Lars engine by summoning Mega Corellia. We'll go Mega Corellia effect, tributing a token and discarding the last card in our hand to summon out Lios. Lios effect on summon will add the trap, and then Lios effect will Foolish Burial the Misk. Then Lios and Princess will go into Raging. Then from here, I'm just going to cheat and be nosy. We'll go Misk effect to Banish to summon out Archosaur. Then these 2 will be turned into Lizard Rose. Once again, I don't want to lose and draw into the Knightsword Serpent, so we will go Daybreak, Banish to put Naya back into deck, and to Foolish Burial the Knightsword Serpent. Knightsword Serpent effect to special. And then now we can go Lizard Rose, banishing the Curse to draw a card. Ideally, you would want to do it the other way around, but I'm not going to gamble into losing. In this case, it's not that big of a deal because you have the Soha to discard the card anyway, in case you need the extra body, because you still haven't normal summoned. Then from here, we just simply take Lizard Rose and Serpent into Slicer's a Roll, which will then set the trap from deck. And then these 2 for the end frame. So we get Princess and Raging Engrave. We've got follow up with the OSS and Zoha. And we can go Princess Pop Lars if we have to. More likely is going to be Temple to summon Flamberge, and then Princess Pop Flamberge. And then obviously we've got this to lock them out as well. This is a 2-card combo, but it does use 3 cards in your hand to get there, and you'll get one of them back eventually off of Lizard Rose. So this is a 2-card combo where we start with Witch and Lios. It's very similar to the last ones, but there's a specific note I want to talk about. So we go Witch effect, set OSS, activate OSS, sending for cost to summon out Snake Eye Ash. Ash effect, add Poplar, Poplar effect to special, effect to search. We get Temple, Temple for Oak, Ash plus Oak, special from deck, we get Flamberge. Then we link these 2 off into IP. And then we go Flamberge, Chainlink 1, Poplar, Chainlink 2, target Flamberge. So this is all the same as before. Obviously, if they nib us here, we have our normal summon Lios, but there's an extra interaction that I'll talk about later with how we deal with the Nibiru'd. So from here, if they don't have the Nibiru'd, again, we just make a 4-material Apollousa. If you are concerned about evenly matched on the Flamberge, it's not that big of a deal. We're not really using the Snake Eye engine much after this. If it is really important to you, you can always go Oak, send itself plus the Flamberge to summon another Poplar from deck or hand, because we do play 2. But I'm not really fussed, so we'll just leave it there. And then again, we just go normal Lios, effect to add the Evo Singularity. Whoops, I forgot to pay maintenance costs for Black Witch. Just pretend that I did that already. Then we go Lios effect, send Misk effect to summon Archosaur, target Lios to destroy and add a reptile. We'll add Naya Pitch for Curse, Curse Tribute Archosaur, Curse effect to reborn Naya and an opponent's monster, effect negated. It's optional. And then Naya effect adds Daybreak. From here we go Daybreak, tribute Curse for cost, and summon out 4 tokens. Now from here we want to link off the lizard, link off into the Lizard, but we don't want to use its effect just yet because we want to use Daybreak first, because we really don't want to draw into Mega Corellia here, because if we do, you're kind of screwed unless you have Snake Rain or Serpent Strike, I think are the main ways to get it out of your hand at this point. Water Lily or Foolish Burial sending Zoha also does it, but you don't want to use any of those cards, so it's better to just not play into that. So from here we just go Daybreak to shuffle back the Naya, and then we send the Misk. Now we can go Lizard Rose, banish the Curse to draw a card, and then from here we just turn those into an M-frame effect to set the trap from deck, and the last 2 tokens for the M-frame. I called Zerol M-frame there. I'm not going to re-record this, so you'll just have to deal with it. Again, fairly standard end board. The only unfortunate thing is we don't have a reptile that we would have liked to banish off of Daybreak there. Banish off of Lizard Rose there. So if you prefer Curse in your grave, then you don't have to Lizard Rose draw and just end on a 2-card hand plus this board. Personally, I'd rather the 3-card hand. So as I mentioned in the 2-card combo of Witch plus Lios, this is a choke point for getting Nibiru'd. So I just wanted to show what happens here if that actually happens. So say my opponent does Nibiru me, all these cards go to the graveyard, and I get a token. It doesn't matter where they put it, but from here we go Temple effect, target Flamberge to monster special summon it. Flamberge effect, target the IP to put it in the back row. From here we just go normal summon Lios, and we just keep going on like nothing happened to a certain point. So Lios, add the trap, then Lios effect to Foolish the Misk, banish the Misk to summon the Archosaur, Archosaur effect, target Lios to destroy it to get Naya, Naya effect to send Curse, and then here we go Curse effect, tribute the token specifically. So we go Curse to summon, then Curse effect to reborn the Naya, and then Naya effect to add the spell. So the first way we can deal with the Nibiru is if they misplay and put it into either of the anima zones, because we take the Archosaur and we are making an anima no matter what here. So this is just an easy way to clear the Nibiru. But if they don't play into the anima zone, then that's fine. There are 3 different Link 2s that we can use to deal with it. And the reason we want to deal with it is because say they happen to have Super Poly or Forbidden Droplet, our Zerol will be dead, and then we have no way to stop them from going battle phase and Nibiru walking over the Lars as well, and then just playing normally in main phase 2. So we kind of want to deal with the Nib now. So there are 3 different options. They all have their benefits and negatives, and it is Knightmare Cerberus, Donner Dagger for Hire, and SP Little Knight. So we'll go budget first and we'll talk about Donner. So from here, we can go Anima plus Flamberge into Donner. Then we can go Daybreak, tribute the Curse to summon out 4 tokens. From here, we can go token plus Naya into Lizard Rose, and we should go Daybreak here. Target Naya to put it back into deck to Foolish Barrel the Mega Corellia. From here, we can go Lizard Rose, banish the Curse to draw a card. then we can use the 2 link arrows of Donner to help us play around to Anima. So we use Lizard Rose plus a token to go into Zerol effect to set the trap from deck. And then we can use the last 2 tokens to make M frame, and at this point we can go Donner, target itself, and Nibiru'd to destroy them. So the benefits of this end board is that we end with 3 cards in hand, and we do not play into the Anima zone with Zerol. But the downside is that we don't have Flambridge on field for the IP, and we're relying on just Temple. So rewinding. So if you don't want to do Donner for hire, you can also do Knightmare Cerberus. Knightmare Cerberus works differently in Donner in that we lose 1 more card in our hand than we would with Donner, but we also play into the Anima zone. The upside for playing this over Donner is that this is an IP summon, so it's not like there's synergy for different board states. So assuming that they don't play into the Anima, again, we can go Anima plus Curse into Cerberus. Cerberus effect, discarding for cost to destroy the Nibiru. And then from here we can Daybreak, sending the Curse. The main upside to this end board is that we get to keep the Flambridge, which we did not get to do with Donner. So from here, we take the Cerberus and a token and turn that into Lizard Rose. If I can find out where I left it. There. So we get the Lizard Rose. Then to avoid drawing into Mega Corellia, we go Daybreak, put back the Naya, and send the Mega Corellia. Then we can go Lizard Rose, targeting itself, banishing Curse for cost to draw a card. And then from here, this plus the token becomes Zerol. Zerol effect to set the trap from deck. And these 2 become M-frame. So again, the main downsides to this is that Zerol's now playing into Anima, and we have 1 less card in hand than we did with Donner. But the upside is that we get to keep Flambridge, and Knightmare Cerberus gets to act as an IP target in other board states. And then finally, we have SP Little Knight. So again, we just go Anima plus Naya into SP Little Knight, effect on summon to banish the Nibiru. Then from here, we go Daybreak, tributing the Curse for cost to get 4 tokens. And we repeat the same line where we go SP Little Knight plus the token into Lizard Rose. Avoid drawing into the 1-of by putting back the Naya and sending the Mega Corellia. Then Lizard Rose, targeting itself, banishing the Curse to draw a card, just to make up for the hand advantage. And then these 2 into Zerol, effect of Zerol to set the trap from deck, and the last 2 tokens into M-frame. So this end board is like Donner in that we get 1 extra card in hand compared to the Knightmare Cerberus. Also, it's a better IP target than SP is, and we get to keep Flambridge. The only downside is that we're playing into the Anima zone again with Zerol. It does mean that if they Dharc the Dark Charmer you, they can just take your SP Little Knight. But if it leaves the field, it'll return to your side of the field. So you can just hopefully play through that. A fun thing with this board is if they do Super Poly you, or Fervent Dropple you or whatever, you are still able to do some kind of plays. So you're able to bring IP out, and then you're able to make an Apollousa, for example, if you need to, or Knightmare Phoenix. But realistically, your IP target on this kind of end board is going to be Apollousa, because you're going to be out of all your other ones as part of this combo. You do have the option to not Flamberge put back IP, but instead Flamberge put back SP. So you don't get access to the Apollousa, but it means they don't get access to your SP either, and then you can summon that, and then that's one more interaction that you have